Good afternoon, everyone. It's Kat with CatWarrenPhoto.com, and in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to create moody and intriguing photos without the use of professional lighting and a professional camera. Stay tuned. Thanks again for tuning into my channel. This is Kat with CatWarrenPhoto.com, and I hope that everyone is having a very safe weekend despite everything that's going on. So real quick, before I go any further, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, and also click on that bell notification. That way you get the latest updates and videos that I post every Sunday, sometimes even more. So let's start. Main question: how do I take captivating and professional looking images without a professional camera and much less professional lighting equipment? Well, I got you. With developing a concept or a story, obviously you have to plan a little bit beforehand, because anyone can take photographs of a subject, but in order to add that depth to it, especially if you don't have a professional camera that provides you with the capabilities, essentially what inspires you. You know, you can get inspiration ahead of time through a movie that you watch, maybe your favorite movie, your favorite song, or what are the lyrics to the song that you are most in relation to. What's your current mood like? What speaks to your heart? What speaks to your mind? Go ahead, play with those elements, and then create a story or a concept from there. So, how do you do this? There are many ways to think outside of the box, but first of all, when you are shooting with your phone, or even a disposable camera, whatever medium that you choose to, play around with the angles, okay? Play around with the different angles of the phone, the composition. You want to make sure that you have an intriguing composition, and so magnify the mundane. So, for example, this. What is this? It's just a ball, right? But it's decorative. And if one stops to think about it and actually look at it, you'll notice that there's a lot of detail. Depending on the angle, right? But it's mundane. It's just a ball. But really, stop and think about what you're being surrounded with. You know, there's a lot of beauty behind a lot of the simple things that we don't really think about. If you don't have lighting equipment to create artificial light, always create your photos and composition using the available light that you have, or whether it's a lamp or natural sunlight. It really just depends on what you have. Create that. And a few ways of doing that is to create very strong contrast through the shadows and the highlights that might be available to you. If there's a lot of sunlight that's penetrating through the window, then chances are you're also going to have some shadows that the sun can't penetrate through. So play with that and then position your subject one way or another. Do you want your subject to be in the shadows while something else is being lit up? That's going to convey a different mood. That might convey a mood of mystery or even intrigue, okay? And so why is the subject, especially if it's a person, why is he or she hiding in the shadows when they could be out here in the light? So it really depends, again, on the story and the character development that you wish that the audience would interpret. So when you're creating your composition, you want to take into consideration what's around you. Again, always. Sometimes simplicity is key. So just like silence, if you're sitting in silence, and I don't know about you, but I know for me, sometimes a lot of the truth and the inspiration that I have for things comes when I sit in silence. When I don't have clutter all over the place. It's just very simple, and sometimes it's easier for me to really grasp something that I didn't previously comprehend before. And empty and negative space is just, it's pretty much the same thing when you're creating art. Sometimes simplicity is better, and the greater the negative space, the more the subject is emphasized, okay? Let's see. So last night, for example, when I was doing the shoot, you'll notice that there's a lot of composition, a lot of images where I have mostly the wall in the background, and then myself. And sometimes the wall is actually it covers more area in the photo than I do. But you can still see that the emphasis is still on me and my current mood, what I'm doing. You can still sit in silence and you can still enjoy being alone. Whatever you're shooting with, make sure you know how it works, okay? Self-explanatory. But like, for instance, last night I was shooting with my iPhone. Never knew this until a few days ago, but with the iPhone, it has a feature where you can autofocus and auto expose and lock it into place for the photo. So what I mean by this is when you're setting up your composition on your phone, you can actually adjust the exposure of whatever you want to shoot by tapping on the display. So if you want to take a photo, or if you want to expose for the light outside through a window, then you tap on that. If you want to expose for something inside, then you tap on that. Also, if you hold it down, if you actually continue to press on that, then it will autofocus and auto lock the exposure, which is awesome. With your cell phone, let's say for instance that you are shooting with a cell phone, all right, you have to understand that the images that come out of the cell phones, essentially the files of these images, are not going to be as high quality as a professional DSLR or even mirrorless camera will be. And with that being said, you won't be able to easily manipulate and post-process these photos in Lightroom or Photoshop as you would a professional camera's files. For me, it wouldn't make sense for me to turn around, edit those photos in Lightroom or Photoshop, knowing fully well that they aren't true raw images as I would get on a professional camera. So with that being said, with the phone or with the files that you do shoot from your camera, doesn't hurt to have to edit those photos using a phone app or even the social media apps like Instagram. So for example, with the photo shoot that I did last night on my phone, I ended up just editing those photos using the Instagram feature. And for each photo, I went into Instagram, edited it through there. Sometimes I chose the filter and I modified it using the filters, or I just manually edited, and for each element that I wanted to edit, I pushed the photo to the extreme on both sides of the spectrum, and then I tweaked it and worked back into the middle or how I wanted the photo to be. Okay, so that's one thing that you could do when you edit photos: push it to the spectrum one way or another and then work back. there is inspiration everywhere. You just have to be receptive to it. Alright guys, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Click on that bell notification. I usually post videos every Sunday, sometimes even more. So again, thanks so much for your support. And this is Kat with KatWarrenPhoto.com. Take care everyone. Be safe.